We're on.
All right, everybody. All right, first of all, thank you all for being on tonight, and I'm so excited to get to announce our trainer for Chapter 4. And this young lady and her team is Jessica Barrios, and her team are over halfway to First Step Region. And you guys, I have no doubt that they will be getting there so in a blink of an eye. So be watching them. But I'm so glad you're all on tonight to be able to sit at her feet and hear her train tonight on Chapter 4. I will be getting out Chapter 5 assignment and the information out tonight. I don't have that with me. I just realized I don't have the fill in the blank part of Chapter 4. So if anybody wants to speak up and give that information and have it on them, that'd be great. If not, I can forward out the information. But I think most of us that are getting on here does have the book, but I do that mostly for those that don't have the book or brand new. So I want to turn this call now over to Jessica Barrios. Jessica, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, you look beautiful. All right, Jessica, thank you so much for training for us tonight, and congratulations to you and your team on an incredible last month.
Thank you, Tammy.
Here's to the future. All righty. See ya. Thank you.
Drive safe. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm super excited to do this training. If you don't know me, my name is Jessica Barrios, and I'm an executive area manager. And I am so thankful that I get to do this and spend some time with you. And so thank you for plugging in. I know it's not easy, and we all live really busy lives, but this is really important stuff to get in and do the do, and this is part of your do. So tonight I'm going to talk about Chapter 4 of our book, which is Living in Entrepreneur Time. And I'm probably going to screw that word up like 60 times tonight, so I'm sorry. But in this chapter of Dare to Dream and Work to Win, Dr. Barrett shares with us some really valuable information about time and being an entrepreneur in network marketing. And I'm going to start with the definition of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. I also want to talk about share with you one of my favorite quotes about entrepreneurship. Today when I was finishing up my training, I came across this one, and it's in my little file of personal motivation and little quotes that I love, because I love quotes. I'm a quote person, and this one just really hits me. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. And when you really get entrepreneurship and you spend some time and you do the do, and you really do the personal development and you learn about network marketing, this resonates with you. And I love this. I just love this topic. So I'm really excited to be sharing with you tonight. One of my absolute favorite things about network marketing is that it provides anyone the opportunity to grow and develop into not only an entrepreneur, but to also live a life full of hope, freedom, and endless opportunity. And Dr. Barrett paints a picture for us in this chapter of a person who's working from home, and it has a home office, and they have 3 different meetings in 3 different time zones. And you can imagine how confusing this would be for someone in this position, trying to keep track of the different time zones and where they need to be at what time, and it can be really confusing. And in network marketing, sometimes a similar thing can happen to us. People can get confused about where they are, what time zone they're in, how to live in that time zone. And when we say time zone, it could be just the structure of your day, your mentality, just how you feel about your general life. And so we really, and I love this concept actually, in this chapter, Dr. Barrett talks about a man named Dan Sullivan, who is an executive coach out of Toronto, Canada. And he talks about 2 types of time zones. The first being a bureaucratic time zone. And in a bureaucratic time zone, people work and live in a time zone that is structured, predictable schedules, where people know their pay. They know the number of hours they're expected to work. the amount they get paid per hour, and are completely aware of their yearly earnings, their sick days, when the next vacation is. People in a bureaucratic time zone answer to others, and they are accustomed to this routine and rhythm. And if you think about this, this is the majority of us, right? This is the majority of our families. It's the majority of our friends. It's the majority of people you know. They clock in, they clock out, and a lot of them are trading their time for money. Well, the flip side of that is an entrepreneurial time zone. And this is where people who work and they live in a time zone where it's completely the opposite. They don't pay any attention, or very little at least, to the hours they work and the pay that they get. They're honestly more focused on their goals and their dreams, and to them, far more important things. And in network marketing, one of the things that can happen that becomes an issue is people join a network marketing company and they're really excited, and they inadvertently start to bring these ideals and these concepts that come from the bureaucratic time zone, and they bring them into their business. And it really conflicts. It conflicts with an entrepreneurial mindset. And what happens is, the most common way we see this is people begin to bring that concept in to an entrepreneurial time zone, and they start to talk about linear income, or they start to think about linear income. And when we say linear income, it's really the concept of people in a bureaucratic time zone are used to seeing a correlation between the time they work, the effort they put in, the energy, and the amount they earn. And so what can happen is, as people move into network marketing, but they still have this bureaucratic time zone in the back of their mind, and it's still tugging at them, they can say things like, you know, three or 4 months in, you know, I've worked really hard at this. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 months. I've worked my butt off, and I've hardly made anything. And they really feel like their efforts are not commensurate with the pay that they're getting. And they really feel like it's not fair, that it doesn't work. Maybe they're not good at it. They question network marketing. They may question their business. And this happens all the time. And the key is that, truthfully, network marketing, Arbonne, whatever business you're in, it's only going to work if people turn a switch and they start to see a new way of measuring time and start to change their expectations. In chapter 4, there's a quote in the book that I absolutely love, and this resonates with me, and it fuels me, and I think it is so, it's just so spot on. And it's a quote about network marketing, and it's, where else can you work for 100 hours and get paid nothing? And then work 5 hours and get paid for 1,000 hours. I love it. Love it. That's network marketing. And those of us who work and live in an entrepreneurial time zone, we don't expect or look for a correlation between how hard or how long you work and the income you receive. Because if you really get network marketing, you've done your research and you've done your studying and you understand how brilliant it is, you understand you're an entrepreneur, and you understand that at the front end in your network marketing business, you are going to be expected to work really hard and earn very little. But then on the back end, you know that you are going to eventually be paid far more than you ever worked for. And this right here is why we all need to change our time zone. The one where we are told, we need to change from the one where we're told when, where, and how much we are worth, to one where we live and work and breathe like an entrepreneur. We need to have a long-term approach to our business. Be patient. You need to know it takes a long time, and it can take time to build your business. It can take time to grow your business and yourself. It can take time to grow a team, and it certainly can take time to grow that residual income. And those of us who have the entrepreneurial mindset and live in this time zone, we get it. We know that we have to be patient and that these things come to us with time. When it comes to entrepreneurs, though, there's also something besides just this time and relative to, that they're pretty okay with the fact that they have to work really hard up front and get paid very little, and they get it. They also have a different mindset and they think different. And what really sets entrepreneurs apart is their vision. They have an amazing vision. They see potential. They see opportunity, trends, needs, and the future. They're able to see things clearer, sooner, and with much more detail than others. They're also able to read into the future that's approaching in ways that often can leave others feeling visually impaired. And I love in this chapter how Dr. Barrett reminds us that when you're sharing the Arbonne opportunity with people, you're actually giving them a vision test. You're looking at them and you're listening and you're looking to see if they have the vision of an entrepreneur, because that's what we really want. We want to find those people who get it and they have it. I have people like that on my team, and you just see their entrepreneurial wheels turning, and it's so exciting. But we all know there are people on our team, and many of us when we first start, that we don't think that way, right? And we don't really have an entrepreneurial mindset. And is that a horrible thing? No, it's okay. It's okay. Because the beautiful thing about this is that an entrepreneurial mindset can be fostered and it can be developed. And this is why it is completely imperative that you surround yourself with others who are visionaries and who can enhance your vision and help increase your thinking and your motivation. And many of you who know me, you all know that I'm obsessed with Learn and Burns and trainings and SoundCloud, and I absolutely love that stuff. I love that we can plug in any way in our life. I do it in the shower, when I'm driving, wherever it is, and I listen to a training. But if you've done any of that, you've heard those stories, right? Of those EMVPs who are at the top of the company now, but they'll tell you how when they first started, they just did this to make a few extra $100. But eventually, as time went on and their vision grew, so did their belief and so did their entrepreneurial mindset. It was developed, it was fostered. So when someone first joins a network marketing business, it can be really hard, though, for them to see the full potential of this opportunity. And this is why Dr. Barrett actually suggests that we should be really careful when we share the full income potential with new people in our business. He thinks that, this can be overwhelming to them. And so really what we should do is show them how Arbonne can be the vehicle to get them where they want to go at the moment. And I know many of you listening to this have been doing Arbonne for a bit, and some of you are just starting. So it's exciting. We're all in different places, but I know I'm 2 years into this business, and I can tell you that when I initially started this, I started with the goals of let's see how it goes. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it my all. I didn't really have a big vision. And then a few months in, things started to change and I started to get it. And I can tell you now, 2 years into my business, my vision, my goals, what I want out of this has evolved dramatically. So that's all part of the process. And that's okay. You're not going to be expected to be an entrepreneur and have that mindset from day one. It has to be fostered and it has to grow. For most of us, it does at least. Another mindset that I think is really, this is such a huge thing. Another mindset that entrepreneurs have, and it's the way they see things, it's the way they look at the world. And Dr. Barrett talks about this. He says that people live in two states. You can live either in a resource state or a problem state. And so this is really kind of, I don't mean like, state, New York, Florida, Washington state. We really mean state of mind once again. This is what we're talking about, is the state that you live in. And so problem state. There are people who live in a problem state of mind. These people anticipate the future. They anticipate it with dread. They feel like life is hard. It's often a struggle. And when problems or challenges arise, they feel like they can't be solved. And they see them as overwhelming. And they really expect to either survive an event or be the victim. Whereas on the flip side, people who live in a resource state, they anticipate the future with confidence. They view problems as challenges that can be solved and will be solved. They feel that life is good, but they know that at times it can be difficult. They know they have control, and they expect to thrive and win in the game of life. They see their future with clarity, and so they aren't overwhelmed by circumstances and situations. And for me, this is something I never really referred to it as resource state or problem state, but, I think we all sometimes can think of people who, it's kind of like that half full mentality of a cup and a half empty mentality of a cup. And how do you see that cup? Do you see it as half full, or do you see it as half empty? And that's where I'm thinking, this correlation between a problem state and a resource state. I think that, when you're thinking more in a problem state, and this happens to many of us, and it happens to me as well. But next time, if you are someone, you find yourself, man, I do feel that way. I feel like every struggle is, I have the worst luck. I can't believe this is happening to me again. I thought this person was going to join my business. I thought she was going to host something for me. Now I fell through nothing. It's a problem state. It's a problem state of mind. So the next time you start thinking, I challenge you to stop, and I challenge you to think, you know what? This isn't that bad. This is a quality problem. Know that you're going to grow from this. In my business, when challenges or low points come up, I always try to tell myself.
That doesn't help me.
By the way, somebody needs to mute. I can hear a little bit of, I think, a gentleman talking in the background. If you just joined in, just please make sure your phones are muted. Thank you. So when I have challenges that come up in my business or life in general, but especially with my business, I try to pause and I try to tell myself, you know what? This challenge, this hurdle, this obstacle, it's meant to happen to me. I need this to happen. I need it to grow and to learn, because someday I know that I'm going to have a person on my team or in my life who I care about that is going to go through this same struggle. And I know that I'm meant to be here so that I can help them through this. I can say to them, hey, I've been here too, and I'm going to help you get through this. Let's do this together. Trust in me. And when I do that and I think, oh man, I'm here for this moment because it's going to help me help somebody else, it turns it around, it spins it on me. And I know I got to push through. So I challenge you, think of that. Think of something like that. If you're really getting in a low point where you feel like things aren't going your way, maybe it's happening for a reason, because the person that's meant to be with you in your business and in your life is going to need you to help them get through that exact same struggle. Now, I love this. We had impact training end of August here in New York, and it was amazing. We had a wonderful time getting really great training from Carlita, and those of us that went, most of us came back extremely fired up and excited. So how many of you have had that happen, where you go to an event or you go to a training and you feel absolutely electrified and totally driven as you're driving home? If you can say yes, and you can think back to a time when that has happened, then what you are feeling was actually what Dr. Barrett refers to as the result of spending time with a positive reference group. You see, entrepreneurs, they do things. They make sure that things happen, but they also make sure that they're spending time with the right people. And so they make time to associate with positive peers who understand their world, they get their way of thinking, and they know that when they do this, it helps them. It keeps them enthusiastic, it keeps them focused, it keeps them on task, it keeps them knowledgeable. Time with like-minded positive people helps propel you. It moves you. And I think if you know, you and I know, we all know that that's the truth, whether it's in Arbonne or anything in your life. When you're around positive people, it lifts you up. And entrepreneurs are the same way. And, you know, when I was doing this training, in my head, I was thinking about positive people and how I have some people in my life who are here locally, and I have some really close to your friends that aren't here close. But I know that when I spend time with those people, I can't help but feel electrified, energized, and just so thankful for life. And so this concept came to my head when I was doing the training. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard this phrase, but I love it. And the phrase is, you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. And if you stop and you think about this, you know, you think about who you're associating with and those around you who aren't part of a positive reference group. And maybe you have people in your life who make you feel like, oh, this isn't going well, or I'm not good at this, or whatever it may be. You might want to stop and think about this and say, you know what? I need a positive reference group, or I need positive people, whatever it may be. So if that happens and you're in a place where you feel like you're really being brought down by negativity, reach out, connect with those around you who are positive. You don't have to do this. If you're local, you don't have to say, oh my gosh, well, you know what, it's great. Jessica's local, but I'm not. I'm long distance. I can't get to the Discover meetings. That's okay. Pick up the phone, call your upline or a sideline who lifts you up, or tune into some Learn and Burns or SoundCloud trainings. These are positive experiences. They're positive spoken words. They're positive chances to touch your heart, to inspire you and propel you. So finally, one of the things that Dr. Barrett talks about, and I think is cute, is he talks about entrepreneurs and what do they do, and you know, who are they and how do they live their life? And he says they wear Nikes. Well, we all know the Nike phrase, just do it. Well, that's the truth. Entrepreneurs just do it. They get tasks done. They stay on task. They produce rather than procrastinate. They do the do. They do the next right thing. They talk themselves into staying on task. And they regularly do the little, even the tedious or not so attractive or glorious or glamorous tasks. And they don't let discomfort derail them. And it's true. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. And I say this to people all the time on my team. Sometimes we do. We have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. We also know, if you've done any time, you know, researching network marketing and Arbonne and our company, you also know that people who are really successful will tell you that their ride to the top is a journey, that they take one task, one moment at a time, and they have relentless effort and commitment. They keep showing up. And really, success is actually deceptively simple. All you really have to do is set your goals and don't quit. Don't ever quit. And this really has resonated with me this week. I've been listening to different trainings, and particularly on SoundCloud, and I've heard on more than 2 occasions an EMVP talk about someone who sponsored someone and then they quit and they left the business, only to leave a business that they would have had a direct ENVP. Think about that. Think about that. They quit. They left. And they could have had absolutely amazing things happen in their lives, for their family, for all that trickle-down effect, all the other people that they touch could have been affected, but they left. So don't quit. Don't quit. I finally want to just finish with one last quote, and it's from obviously one of the most profound entrepreneurs that's ever lived. And it's a quote from the late Steve Jobs, the co-founder and CEO of Apple. And he said, "I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance." It really is. You just have to persevere. You just have to keep doing the do and get yourself wrapped around being an entrepreneur. Work hard in the beginning. Know you might not get that big paycheck. Know that you may feel like your time in is not equal to the time or the amount you're getting paid. But that's part of the process. That's the way this works. But in the end, big, big things come. So don't give up. Don't give up. Persevere. That's it. That's it. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Nair, are you there?
Jessica, I just got Tammy's texting me and saying, tell her that was amazing. I don't think she can unmute because she's in a really noisy place. And that was awesome. It was so fantastic. And it was so on point. And so I love how you were giving such concrete examples and also ways to plug in. And so from your heart, like we've all been in those places where we feel like we're not surrounded by super positive people, or you get your paycheck and you think, I just worked so hard for that, right? Because we're always working our businesses 3 months, 6 months out. And so we can have this dramatic shift and we can start changing things, but we don't see that change right away. And it was just amazing, amazing. So I'm going to mute because I know other people are going to want to pop on. And guys, share wins, share something that Jessica said that touched you, or something that you've been working on that is kind of in this same vein. We've got a couple more minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and mute. If you're having trouble unmuting and you're on the phone, text me or text your leader and have them text me, because I just realized some people on the phones aren't able to unmute, are they?
Hi, it's Jessica McMillan. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. My connection was bad on my computer and I got kicked out. So, yeah, so I wanted to jump in and say also that you did a great job, Jessica. It was awesome. And congratulations. I'm so excited when I hear that. Yeah, you're welcome. I wanted to say too, when I was reading through this book, and when you were talking, I was thinking about how that whole the positive reference group and how powerful that is, and how I know that, how I hear it all the time over and over and over, and we need to do our self-development and we need to do it first thing to start the day, and how much it impacts everything. And yeah, I was thinking about how I can sometimes get lazy and think I can sort of trick that system and bypass it. I'm going to be fine, or I've been pumped up the day before and I think it's going to carry through, and I'll slack a little on that or let other things go first, and how quickly my mindset can just start drifting back. I think especially too, for people who are on their own, and for those of us that are working from home and all of that. So, but today, I stopped myself and I made myself work on this a little bit, and then it was cool to see how fast it could switch back. And so I just wanted to share that, and just because I think sometimes we're all of a sudden all these doubts and things start coming, and it's why am I thinking this when I was so strong on this, not too long before. And so just really fighting for that and making it worthwhile for ourselves. So thanks.
Thanks, Jessica. Thanks for sharing. I think, one of the things I would say is as I was doing this training and prepping for it, I really just came back to the fact that so much of this is really having a firm understanding of network marketing and understanding this business and how it works, and how unbelievable it is, and how lucky and blessed we are to be a part of it. And so I feel like if you're sitting here saying, I don't really see it, Jessica, that's okay. That's okay. But you might want to do a little bit of development and do the do, and really dive into reading some more and listening, because I think that when you start to do that, even just the INR bonds or whatever it may be, when you start to realize that this works and how it works and how it changes people and how anybody can be successful, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So just know, if you're not feeling it, we can find ways for you to learn more and build this. This is something that's definitely buildable.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Jessica. Is there anybody else? It's just the top of the hour now. So for people who are wanting to hop on, I know a couple people have hopped onto Carly this call. We have time for one more person. If there's anybody else who wants to say anything, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this out.
Hi, I'm the one that joined last. I think I was late. But the last of it that I did hear was awesome. Just don't give up. And I am a very determined person anyways, but to hear it over and over again, and the positive reassurance and the support system, I just think is so great for this. And I'm so happy to be a part of this. So thank you so much.
Of course. I'm sorry. Can you say who you are? I can't, on my phone, for whatever reason, I can't tell who this is.
I'm sorry. This is April Allen.
Oh, hi, April. Thank you. Thank you for getting on and talking. I know sometimes it's not the easiest thing to, but I appreciate your kind words, and I'm so glad that it helped you tonight.
I will definitely be catching up on it. I'll watch it later, and but even the end, it resonates with me. Everything that Tammy talks about. I mean, anybody. It's just so positive, and I love that.
And that's such. I mean, we're so fortunate to have that. How many people really have that in what they do for a living? That they have.
Exactly.
It's wonderful. You're right. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys. You guys all know this, but this is key. Plugging in is absolutely key to everything that Jessica talked about tonight, because of that positivity, because of the skills that you're learning. So thank you for taking time tonight. We'll get this recording up, and everybody have a great night. I'm just going to